Hey, 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 what day is it today, Karen?
Monday, new beginnings. I love Monday so much. Just like my favorite day of the week.
To me, I feel like they always run together, and I am the person that like never gets the day right. Of course, it's Monday. We've had visitors over the weekend, and like I said, all the days are kind of running together. But I'm so excited to connect with you today. We talked about this on the weekend, and I said, why don't we just get together and like talk about all of the things that we've learned in the last 4 years and share that with people because I wish that I'd seen something like that 4 years ago before I started, and I'm sure that you did too. But Karen and I, for those of you that are new, Karen and I have known each other for 15-ish years, and we've been working together for the last four. She's one of my best friends. And we both have different backgrounds. Karen, like, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself really quick, and then I'll do that, and then we can.
Yeah. So I'm 35 and I grew up in Perth, Western Australia. I left school in year 10, guys. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I was just wasting time at school, had no direction. I went into beauty therapy, like aesthetics, massage, and did that for a little bit, then got into retail management. But I was working weekends and, evenings and all that sort of stuff. And I went traveling to Canada and here I am. I just happened to stay. And then because I didn't have like a degree or a diploma or something like that, I was kind of just forced to go into the serving industry. So I didn't have any experience really anywhere else, which was fantastic because I met so many cool people and I was able to travel around the States and have so much fun. But after 7 years, I kind of just got a bit burnt out and tired. And I was married at the time. We were working opposite schedules. I was sometimes working till 2 a.m. in the morning, and gets tiring after a while. I mean, the money's fantastic, but I was relying on tips for a lot of, and it was not secure income. And especially me trying to get back to Australia at least once a year to see my family, I would have to take a whole month off work. So before my vacation, I was like 7 days a week, split double shifts, all this sort of stuff, exhausted getting on the plane. And then I'd have to do the same coming back because I wasn't getting that income when I was away. And I was just like, God, there's got to be something more out there. But I was playing so small. I was afraid of trying something new in case I failed. I was just super comfortable playing at a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 in all areas of my life. And then I ended up doing a nutrition course because I've always had a passion for health and wellness. I've had hormone issues in the past, which kind of made me dive into nutrition and, do a bit of research, and did my nutrition course, spent a ton of money on that. And then felt defeated again because I was like, I can't find a job. Like, I want to do this online business. I want to be able to travel the world and all this sort of stuff. But I didn't really know where to start an online business. I had no experience. I was not great with the computers. Let's be real here. And I just felt overwhelmed. I was like, it's going to put it in the too hard bucket. I'm just going to go back to serving. And I did that. And I just knew that I wasn't tapping into my potential. I was like, oh my God, I've got so much to offer. And it wasn't until Christina, reached out to me. I went and saw her for a weekend in Victoria. She had a baby, Izzy. She was 3 weeks old?
Yep.
And you just approached me. You're like, you know what? I just started this online business. I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. And I know that you love health and wellness. Do you want to take a look? Do you want to do this with me? And I was that person. I used to be that person that'd be like, oh, no, I'm okay. Like, I don't want to take a risk. And I was like, something just made me start with you. I didn't want to miss out. I wanted to do this with you. And I was just like, you know what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least I gave it a go. And I remember getting on that ferry back to, I think, Vancouver. And I was like, what have I done? What have I done? Like, I can't, my ego was getting in my mind and the chitter chatter. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, I'm going to have to tell Christina, I just can't do it. But I just persevered and I failed forward every single day. And
Didn't we ever?
And here I am, a completely different person 4 years ago. I love my life. And
Wow.
that's in a nutshell, kind of.
And you did a really good job and you hit so many incredible points. That point that you're talking about, we think that we have it made, that we have a flexible schedule when we have a job, but it takes anybody going away for a couple of weeks and having to work like a crazy person beforehand and afterhand to make up for the money that you miss when you're gone. That was an aha moment that Ryan's dad gave me when we were sitting on the beach in Mexico. He said, the problem with your job as a hairstylist, Christina, is that people come to see you. They want to see you, have your personality, have your skills. They don't really want to see anybody else. And so if you're not at work, you're not making money. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like that like was a huge wake up call. And that was 4 years prior to getting into this business. And I remember that conversation that night. I said to Ryan, because we've always been serial entrepreneurs, but I always said to him, like, we got to figure this online thing out. Like, if you watch the progression of how life is going and things are shifting and changing, you know that I always used to give the example of Blockbuster and Netflix, right? Netflix gave Blockbuster the opportunity to buy them, to purchase them. And Blockbuster thought they were ridiculous because they'd had this movie store for years and years and years and years and years. And they didn't take the opportunity to pivot, and they didn't find value in that. And I think that that's such a big lesson for people to learn, because Netflix is what put Blockbuster out of business, because they were forward thinking. They had vision. And so as much as I love doing hair and love being a hairstylist, there were things about it that I didn't like, that I was working evenings and weekends. I didn't literally, like, my friends would all go to the beach and go camping on the weekends. And I'm like, yeah, so I have Monday off. Like, and then same in the service industry, you're working. And I'm not saying that every job is like that. Some people feel handcuffed to their 9 to 5. And in the service industry, we called them the golden handcuffs, because you were making such great money. Like I was even saying to Ryan right now, I look at all these people that are going to go back to work, and like there are no $200 to $500 tip nights coming anytime soon. Like that's what people, it's not the minimum wage that people get into the service industry for. They actually really enjoy serving people, building relationships, the banter, the socialness, right? They love that. They love being human and interacting with people. And that is changing. So I saw that changing, and I saw things going online. And I mean, that's something that we've learned over these past few years, is that you can build honest, raw, real relationships online with people. And actually, even more so, you're not stuck to your social circle. You can actually totally level up and find people that are like-minded like you and start vibrating at the same energy. And definitely, Karen, there's been days that I'm like, I am not cut out for this. Like I remember the first year of this, having a baby, Ryan and I, we ended up moving out of the city into the country. We left our social circle. My husband became a stay-at-home dad after being, like, I'll say it this way, he would never describe it this way, but I'd be like being a kingpin in Victoria, where everybody knows you, everybody like look forward to seeing you, and all of a sudden he's at home full time with a baby. Like, people don't understand the relation. Like you said, you never saw your ex-husband. Like you were always working, and that was it. Like he was always taking care of the baby. I was always working. I was on my phone, and he would be trying to have a conversation with me, not realizing that I'm in a completely different world to being present with him. And so we went through a lot of issues in our marriage, and trying to overcome those things. And there was a lot of things that rose up, and it's not an easy thing to have growth and realize, like, just like you said, like you're a different person than you were 4 years ago. I'm a different person than I was 6 months ago. And so anybody that's remembering me that way doesn't know me. You know what I mean? So Karen, I wanted, like, yes, it was scary. Yes, there were so many times that we wanted to quit. And I really believe that having you in this business with me, and I think that you probably would say the same thing, is that like we saved each other through this, on those moments of self-doubt, on those moments of, I don't think I can do this, or like, I might murder somebody today. Like I can't hear this over and over and over. Like, this is so difficult. And you start to evolve as humans, but I think honestly, doing it together has been such a blessing, because we know each other.
Oh my gosh. Like I say, you're my best friend, you're my travel buddy, you're also my therapist. There's been so many times where you've just talked me off the ledge, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I can't do this anymore. Like that self-doubt creeps in. Like I've had that so many times where, am I really cut out for this? Oh my gosh. And like, I think for me is wanting things to happen on a certain timeline. And, I missed so many promotions that I've ever gone for, and like beat myself up over it. And I kind of had to let go of that control and just be like, this is my path. This is my journey. And I've got to be happy with my progress where I'm at now. Enjoy the journey. Instead of thinking, I remember hitting like an amazing promotion. Oh, well, what's next? And it's like, okay, relax. Like you've just hit an amazing promotion. Look at everyone around you, and like just take a minute to be happy with where you are. And I think that's been a huge shift for me the last year, is just like enjoying the process. If it takes you an extra 6 months, just do it with ease, grace, and flow.
Yes, and that is something, because when you're in an environment or a competitive environment, and this is something that we really had to learn, by the way, we had these expectations. We had these expectations not only for ourselves and for our own goals, but we had these expectations for our team members, and that wasn't okay. But we didn't understand that it wasn't okay at the time. So we're like, you need to do this, you need to do that. You're giving people a list of things to do, and not everybody has the same drive. Not everybody has the same goal. Not everybody has the same. So you're projecting your goals and your drive and your vision on people that maybe aren't quite there in the same headspace as you. And that's really something that we had to learn, that, hey, we have to meet people where they are. And whether they come in and they have a massive business background, they're people that, they're the people that walk into a room and everybody pays attention, whether they're that person or the person that's coming in that is the stay-at-home parent, or somebody that's never ever done a business like this before, has never run a business, has always been an employee. Like, they're in different places at different times. And so to come in and then show kindness and caring and giving people the tools to succeed, as opposed to doing the work for them or saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, which, happens in that environment sometimes, that we have all of these expectations of our team members. But the one thing that has been so impactful is taking extreme ownership for your own business and realize, hey, like, if you want to move your team, you pour belief and confidence into people. You work with them where they're at. You help them if they don't understand something, whether it is a piece of marketing or a piece of product education or a piece of the compensation plan. Like, sometimes it just takes an extra 5 minutes to explain that to somebody so that they understand enough to go explain it to somebody else. And it's taking that time and care. But then again, it's not robbing them of doing it themselves and not just going in and doing it for them. It's teaching people how to fish and not giving them a fish to take home and feed their family,
But also, pouring belief into them as well, because I remember you, like, when I had so much self-doubt and was like, I had a fear of public speaking, you guys. I was so shy. Like, do you remember
You did hypnosis. Didn't you do hypnosis?
Yeah, so like this was super out of my comfort zone, but because Christina, like, casted vision, and she's like, how much money would you need to make to, like, be able to leave your full-time job? And I was like, oh, I need $6,000. She's like, okay, you can totally do this. This is the game plan. And, like, making me feel like I could actually achieve it and pouring belief and confidence into me. And I always say to my new team members, borrow my confidence and belief until you have your own. And I think that's just huge with this business. It's like 80% mindset, 20% skill, 80% mindset. And I think this has been a paid personal development course for me as well. Because
absolutely,
you can't come in and, like, be to level like 2 or 3 of personal development and wanting to be that multiple 6-figure income. The gap's so far, you just haven't done the work, and you've eventually just got to close it up. And yeah,
exactly. Your level of belief and your level of personal development is exactly. I used to say, whatever the work you put in is what you get paid for, but your level of belief and your personal development is what you get paid for. You cannot make $10,000 a month if you don't believe you can make it and you don't have the confidence to back it up. And that all comes through personal development. Does it happen right away? Absolutely not. I remember, Karen, back in the day when we first started this, we were literally posting spammy pictures of buy one, get one free, buy my stuff, but this is 40% off. Like, this is, we were creating all this hype. Sales don't happen on hype. Sales happen because you are solving somebody's problem. You have a solution to somebody's problem, and you're helping educate people, and you're of value to them. So when people like you and they know you, they'll do business with you, and they have to trust you to do business. So how you show up in life, and it's really apparent to me when new people come into the business and they're like, everyone's skeptical, no one wants to buy my stuff. And I was like, well, that says a lot about who you are and the people you surround yourself with. And sometimes that's a really hard pill to swallow, right? That's a really hard pill to swallow, but it also should be a tipping point where people realize, hey, maybe I've been doing this for years and years and years and behaving this way and settling at that, like, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Maybe it's time for me to level up and start being of service and of value to people, because when you do more and you're more valuable to people, that's when you start making more money. And just like you said before, you're just like constantly looking at that goal and hitting that goal, and then like train chugging through that goal and just focusing forward. And it took us, I would say it took us at least 2.5 years, if not 3 years.
Three for me.
Yeah, to figure out, hey, this is that we, Lisa Grossman said it best to me. It's all about marrying the process and divorcing the results. So you fall in love with the information that you're putting out there. You fall in love with the people that you're connecting with. You fall in love with building relationships and helping people in the way that you can. And if you do that every single day and you show up with a big heart and actually truly give without even thinking of receiving, the money comes, the people come. They want to buy from you. They want to listen. They want to be there for you because you're giving so much in return. And if we could just give that perspective to people instead of they're sitting there marking how many sales they're getting in a month and what their next goal is and how many customers they have to get or how many team members they have to get, when really they have to focus on who they are to attract those people to their business.
Absolutely. And my coach, Alex, who, I've been able to invest in a coach like both of us have because we made amazing money. Like,
yeah,
I think your return, like you're investing in yourself is the best return of investment ever. Do you know what I mean? Your frequencies, your currency is what my coach always says. And she's like, Karen, you like, stop doing all over yourself. Like, that hustle and must do more, must never good enough. And that was like that hustler and people pleaser.
We had that both, that gene.
Like I had to literally resign from that role. And, I see a lot of people come in with that broke money mindset, which we've really both, I mean, we've always been pretty good, but like coaching some team members on that topic as well. Like, and helping them open their money buffer, like coming in with such a small vision and, I can't make that money and but it's so abundant. There's so much out there for everyone.
And even with the way that things are, like people have to understand that multiple streams of income are going to be a lot more popular, and having different ways and different skill sets that you're gathering. Like nobody stays in a job for 40 years anymore. That's not how life works. Now people are looking for different skill sets. They're looking for different ways to make multiple streams of income. And I think that having that money mindset, realizing that you're like, look, both Karen and I are not from wealthy families. Like we're not from like high class families. We're from like blue collar background families where we had to work really hard to get to where we are. And part of the reason that we have this overachiever gene, that one that we work and we work and we work and we're never satisfied, is because we never, in our childhood, like we never felt like we were enough. And so that's something a lot of people need to overcome, because if they don't, they'll always give themselves excuses to not do better, not be better, not dream bigger and reach for more, right? They'll just talk themselves out and be like, okay, well, it's fine for those girls to go and make 5 figures a month, but I could never do that. I don't have the speaking. You're choosing not to have the speaking skills. You're choosing not to plug in online. You're choosing not to link arms with people that are already doing it. This is a choice. These are things that are learned. Like my videos were terrible when I first started being able to talk to somebody off the cuff, or like I was so nerve-wracked. Like I was so sweaty. I think
my phone, like I would like this. I was like,
I remember. And like, you have to just release who you think you are and think about who you want to become. And that money mindset is huge. And people get angry about this, right? And I'll tell you, there was a girl that we used to work with, and she used to say all the time, I'm so effing broke. I'm so effing broke. I'm so effing broke. Like every day it was a broken record. I'm so effing broke.
I'm just like, Sarah, your wish is my command.
You're broke. You're so effing broke, because all you do is talk about how broke you are instead of going out there and getting the skills or honing your skills. You're not entitled to anything. You're not entitled to a sale. You're not entitled to be a leader. You're not entitled to anything. You need to get out there and get those skills yourself, and not have that entitlement that the world does not owe you a damn thing. And when you recognize that, and one of the things that I love, Justin Prince said the other day, is you always do more than you get paid for. And that is an investment in your future. You always do more. And we show up bigger, we show up bolder. We do free videos that is full of content for you guys that you can go and take and grow your business with. We give all of that away for free because we know that in return, the people that come and want to work with us one-on-one, they know how that we're a valuable asset. They know that they're going to get one-on-one coaching. They know that they're going to learn from industry leaders. And so we're calling in the people that are serious about wanting to make money, that want to partner in business, that actually want to learn the skills. And I think that once you realize that who you are is calling in those people, things shift for you.
Absolutely. And I remember with our previous company, we're like, this is where we want to go. We need to become that person. We need to start embodying that now. And we had to level up. We had to like upgrade our circle. Like we started going to events where multiple six-figure income earners were presenting at and got in their circle and just showing up and making those connections. Because we had a vision of where we wanted to be. So again, it's just upgrading your circle. It's just who you spend your time with is just super, super important.
Absolutely. And the other part of it, Karen, I'm really glad you brought that up because when things aren't working, it doesn't mean double down. And I'm not saying like quit after a couple of days. Like you got to give it 30 to 60 days of trying something new. Okay. At least when I started this business, at least, right? When you're starting something new or trying something new, doing live videos, like you have to be consistent. And I remember starting this business. I said to my husband, I said, give me a year. Can you give me a year to learn this? And in a year, if it's total crap and nothing happens, then I will absolutely walk away and go back to doing hair. But if this is the answer to our prayers, spending more time together, having Izzy at home, being able to travel as a family, do all the things that we want, then I want to give this a shot. I don't think I would be able to sleep at night knowing that I didn't give it a shot, that I could be living my dream life, but instead I settled because being a hairstylist is super easy to me. I could do highlights and a hair and a great haircut in my sleep. But is that actually living up to my full potential? Am I actually impacting people the way that I could in a positive, big manner? I don't know. And so that's something that I actually want to touch on because with that previous company, and the reason that we evolved and moved on was because we saw that people were doubling down on things that weren't working. They were coaching from the top things that weren't working. And so we hired a coach outside of that company. We looked for answers. We looked for a duplicatable system. We looked for the things that we needed to be those big multiple six-figure earners or seven-figure earners. You've got to understand that you've got to get around people that are doing those things, that are effectively doing those things, and they're living the life that you want to live. Because what was happening is I was looking at people 7 years down the line. I'd only been in business for 3, but I'm watching people 6 or 7 years down the line do the same thing. Ignore their kids all day and send spammy cold messages and not actually connect with human beings. And for me, that's not in alignment. That's not what gets my gears going. Like I actually truly want to be there and help other people learn healthy habits. I want them to change their life because I know that when I took my hands or my health into my own hands, that it absolutely changed how I felt, my energy levels, how I interacted with my husband, my hormones, my mood, depression, all of those things changed. So I actually want to help people instead of sign here on the dotted line. Here's a product that I say will fix something and then you never hear from me again. Like that's not the business that I'm in. The business I'm in is to actually truly help people. And you can't create a sustainable business unless you believe 110% in your product, 110% in what you're doing. And it is the best thing out there. You just can't do it. So when we saw these people that they were predicting our future, they were showing us, hey, if you want to make this kind of money 5 years down the line, you need to spend every day sending 100 messages a day, cold messages to people. You need to get people into the business as fast as you can, not care about what they're doing, like just get them in, get them in, get them in. That didn't resonate with me. And you know what? I'm not saying that maybe that wasn't a company thing. Maybe that was a team thing. Maybe that was a breakdown in leadership. I don't know what it was, but what it did was wake us up to say, hey, there's got to be a better way.
3 more years time. I just can't go on like this.
I don't want to feed my kid Lunchables and pizza for lunch. I want to be present and I want to find a system that I plug people into that is proven to work. Here's the kicker. proven to work. Hey, everyone that's watching, thank you so much for
I
tuning
can't
in.
see any comments, so hi if you're saying
We'll
hi.
come back and we'll answer all the comments, but it was just such a huge aha moment that, hey, I want to be part of something that is actually bigger than myself, my own goals, my own paycheck. And that was a huge reason why people couldn't understand that we walked away, because we were top international earners with that company, but we needed to be somewhere where we actually could make an impact, where we were making a social difference, where our products were competitive in a market and our customers were being taken care of. And those were things that, if you don't have those things, you're going to be spinning on that hamster wheel for years and years and years. And I saw that prediction to our future, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
And, we worked so much in that previous business and not having enough time to do the things that we love to do. Like, I know that
We're
now
concerts and stuff, and we're on our phone.
it's just ridiculous. But now I work half amount of time. I'm about to hit my promotion that took me a year and a half in my previous company, but I have so much time to like go on nature walks with my dog, and I'm doing like an online course, and I'm working with a coach, and I'm just like upgrading my skills, my energetics. And it's just like, wow, I don't have to do all over myself anymore, because I found something that's simple, duplicatable, and the leadership that like from John and just Marina, it's just like,
the culture. So that's the difference. And so I want to go into that a little bit, because you'll see on our Facebook pages, we're doing a 3-day no sugar challenge. We're doing a step challenge. We're doing an intermittent fasting challenge. We're doing these things to provide people value and educate them. Are we expecting a sale on the end? Absolutely not. Is there something that we can help them with, improve their energy, improve their body composition, improve the non-toxic environment in their home to keep things healthy and safe for their kids and their pets? Absolutely, we can do those things, but I never expect it from people. I don't expect to do a video like this and like, oh my God, we're going to sign up so many people because we're doing, like, I never have those expectations. And when you learn that you are here to serve others, and that is the base of your business, and that you go above and beyond to help people and have fun and create environments where people are having fun learning, and you're creating the thing that you're influencing. You're creating the culture, the environment. And when we came here, what I noticed was the collaboration, that you have people reaching out to you from all different teams, all different environments, sharing what works for them. That never happened before. You were told to stay in your lane, stay in your own team, only be coached by the people that were on,
don't give away your secrets, because again, that's scarcity mindset,
Never. And that's the thing, you start going to these other events that have multiple people in the industry from different companies, and they've got different ideas. They got different ways of doing business. You share these trade secrets around dinner time over cocktails, and you're like, oh, that's such a great idea. We should do that too. And it becomes this positive environment of collaboration, which raises the bar for everybody in the industry, there's no room for that fear, because we know that we're helping people. We know that it's not, oh, Karen, you're going to steal my customers, or you're going to steal, people from me. That should be like, no, we work together as a team, as a collaboration, and as a whole. And when you have that mindset, everything shifts. How you do business shifts, how you show up on social media shifts. You're not in it for you anymore. You're in it for a whole. You stand for something that is so much greater than yourself. And that energy alone shifts everything.
And I also think just the toxicity, like in a business or spreading amongst your team, is just,
yeah. And that was, that's something that sometimes you can't help, right? Sometimes you're in a compensation plan where or like maybe it's a sales performance team. Like you could have a brick and mortar business and a sales performance team, right? And that you need all of those people working at high capacity. And that puts so much pressure on people. But there are also things out there that are totally in your control. And now I know I operate in my lane. I operate in what I can control, the volume that I can do personally, versus projecting that on other people. Like, hey, you got to work harder. You got to work harder. Who am I to say you're not working as hard as you can with the capacity that you have in your environment, with your job, with your kids, with everything that's going on? Like, you can't project those things and what you think other people should be doing on them. That was a huge mistake. And I admit that wholeheartedly now. I know that there are people that are no longer in the business because they felt this pressure. And if we can give you that piece of advice, that you realize, hey, like, this is all about you, this is about your business, this is about becoming the person that you want to attract to your business, I'm telling you, it'll change the game. Get to know your product, get to know your service, know it inside out and backwards, so that you know why people should be purchasing this or working with you over anybody else, and then give value. I know that when new people come in, I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to link arms with you. I will meet you wherever you are. I will teach you everything that I know if you ask. If you ask and you're willing to apply and you're open to coaching, I will give you everything that I am to help create other leadership, to help create other strong business people. So that's where you need to come from in business. And Karen, wouldn't you say that, like, when we kind of overcame that mindset of like, hey, I'm a leader, I have to do it all, instead of empowering other people, that shifted the culture on our team. And that allowed people to stand up and take ownership and rise to the level that everybody else was at.
Absolutely. And I also, I always get people say, oh, I can't do what you do. Like, you're just so good on camera, or you're so good at social media. It's just like, we've been doing this for 4 years now, right? And we've literally tripped over, made so many mistakes, failed forward, but we've just had to grow in the process. And, never compare your journey to someone else's is something that I've really had to work on. And, I went through such a crazy year last year, and it took me about a while to open up on Facebook and share my life and get really vulnerable. But it's been some of the best possible things that I could have done for myself, because I truly believe I went through what I did so that I could serve people, help people solve problems. And now whenever I go on social media and I want to do like a vulnerable post, I always talk about, where I came from, what I went through, how I felt, that these are the tools that I used to overcome it.
Yeah.
And to pour belief into people that nothing is permanent. Like, you have the power to change your life. And that gets me excited each day. Just like when I was going through such a dark time, I followed people on social media that gave me hope that, oh my God, I am going to get through this. And now I want to be that light to other people, to be like, you can do this. Like, that gets me so excited.
I know. And isn't that interesting, Karen? Because I feel that when we realized that our vulnerability was our biggest power, it's our biggest power in connecting with other people, we started getting a lot vulnerable, like a lot more vulnerable. There are things that I talked about that I haven't talked about since they happened to me when I was younger, since I was bullied so badly as a kid, and like how those affected me. And then as soon as I started talking about it, people were like, I felt that way too. It happens in adult life. Women bully other women. It's insanity, especially other moms, because you're setting the example for your kids, right? And that behavior is learned, it's generational. And so often we don't talk about those things. We don't talk about how our grandmothers treated our mothers, treated us. And then we pass that on inevitably without being conscious to our kids, unless we develop self-awareness through personal development, right? And like you said before, this is like a paid personal development class. And some people, they get really scared about that. They're like, I don't want to share who I am. But if you knew that sharing who you were, having the courage to share who you are, the bravery that takes through vulnerability, that's what will change somebody else's life. By you simply, Karen, by you sharing about what you went through when you were blindsided by divorce, by sharing what happened and how I was affected through my entire life. And I know I have triggers from being bullied that, like, it bring me right back to being 15 years old, and I'm 30, almost 37, and working through that, working through those triggers so that we can become the best version of ourselves, because we know that we're going to help so many other people go through that by sharing what we went through. You're not alone. There's so many people out there that are in a place where, okay, now life's looking a little bit different, right? Things are shifting and changing, and as scary as that can be, it can also be a super exciting time. It all has to do with your perspective, right? Your mindset, your perspective. You can see it as the most horrible thing that's happening in the world, or you can see it as an opportunity. And that is a simple switch in your brain. That's not, oh, I always feel this way, I'm always sad. That's just like, no, I have awareness and I can shift how I'm thinking. So where is the opportunity? How can I start doing something different? How can I become recession proof? How can I contribute financially to my family? How can I solve this problem of working, like now I'm working from home? How do I manage that with pets, with kids, with a partner that's working? Like, how does this all work out? You become a problem solver and you figure it out, and you get in front of people that have it figured out, and then you start asking questions.
Yes. Ask questions. Like, don't reinvent the wheel, just duplication.
Absolutely. So I hope that that gave you guys, some insight into like the ebbs and the flows of business. Like, it is definitely not a straight trajectory up. It never is. It goes up and down and loop to loop. And having somebody that you can trust, that knows you, that you can link arms with, is a huge added bonus. Is like absolutely one of the best things. Like, honestly, Karen, I think that the reason that we've done so well is because we have each other. And so if you're looking into this and you have a bestie that you're just like, screw it, let's do something new.
Like, I remember when you first asked me in our previous company, because I trusted you. I knew that you used high quality products. I knew that you were into health and fitness. I knew you had a business background and mindset. I trusted you. And the same goes for when we switched over to this company. It wasn't the time for me. Like, really, I couldn't handle anything else, but I didn't want to miss out. I didn't want to miss the boat. I trusted you wholeheartedly, and you had a vision. And I just had to let go of all the, oh my God, what if I don't make it? What if I don't make the same amount of money? What if I don't, like, all those what ifs that the ego comes in. And I just had to be like, you know what? This is the plan. I'm going to link arms with Christina. And it's just been a blessing. So thank you for having the courage to give me the courage to take action.
Well, honestly, Karen, I think we do it for each other, because you solidified that my choice when you said yes. I'm like, okay, if she can do it with me, then I can do it with anybody, right? Like, because your family and your friends are usually the most skeptical people of it all. And having that hesitation is normal, right? I talked myself out of this industry for 2 whole years. I said no. And here's what I did. I was skeptical and I made fun of it. We make fun of things that make us uncomfortable because we dismiss them when we make fun of them, right? We make fun of people that make us feel uncomfortable because they're doing more than us. Mm-hmm. This is something that you learn through self-awareness over personal development, that I no longer do that. Instead, when I see somebody that is doing what I want to do, I send them a message. I don't even have to know them, but I'm like, hey, how'd you do that? I want to know how to do that. Can you help me? Will you share? And anybody that is doing more than you will always, maybe they're busy and it takes a little bit of time, but they'll always be willing to share. They'll always be willing to open up for somebody that has the ambition and the drive and the grit to foresee it and to put it through. Honestly, that's a game changer. And I think so many people hesitate there. And I think of, had I started 2 years prior, I'd be so much farther ahead. But like you said, you don't compare your journey, your background, your network, your anything to anybody else's. And you just try and get better than the day before. And now, God bless Facebook memories, we can look back a year from now and see where we were and see the progression. You don't see it in every day. You don't see I'm getting better daily. You just make that commitment that every time you make a mistake, you fix it. Every time you might have to learn that mistake a couple of times, you fix it and start a new habit, right? And it evolves over time. And no, you don't see it from day to day, but you do definitely see it year to year.
Something that just came to my mind is, and it's okay to leave people behind.
It is. Like, sometimes it's necessary.
You level up, you grow, and they're just okay staying where they are. And that is totally okay. But just know that that's normal part of the process too.
And it doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that you're in different directions. And sometimes you catch up with people. Sometimes down the road, you catch up with people and you're on the same page again. But sometimes it is necessary to leave behind the people that don't believe in you, that are skeptical, that are always complaining, that are low energy. Like, if you have a vision and you want more out of your life, you have to start spending time with people who have the same vision, who have the same feelings, who have the same direction. Because if you get dragged down by all of the other people that are not confident and not secure in those decisions and can't make them, then you're going to not live up to your potential that you're meant to be. You're going to stop yourself and be like, no, I've got to stay safe with these people. I've got to please these people. And when you're not in alignment, it doesn't feel good when you're not in alignment. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes if you do it in a kind and considerate manner, it's okay to leave those people behind. Sometimes they're upset about those things, right? But in all, if you have integrity and you are kind and you are thoughtful in what you're doing, and that you always have good intentions. That's what I always say. People may receive whatever you're doing in an ill manner, but if you have good intentions with everything that you do, you don't have to feel bad about making mistakes. Because I'm the first person to say, hey, I'm sorry. Or, hey, you know what? I'd love to connect with you. I'd love to talk. I'd love to work things out. I'd love to be able to come to an understanding, because I don't agree that everybody needs to agree. I think that it's okay to have different perspectives. I think it's okay to have debates and have and support each other in difference. I don't think that everybody has to be on, I don't think everybody has to be doing an online business. I don't think this is for everyone, and that's okay. You don't have to convince people. The right people are going to come to you. When you get your message out, when you start being vulnerable and you share authentically who you are, the right people are going to come to you, and you're going to have a completely different experience than if you never tried at all.
Boom.
There we go. Is there anything you want to leave with, Karen, or how do you want to do?
Oh, I just got like, it's almost what, June 1st. We're almost halfway through 2020. Like,
wow. How did we manage this? Like, how did we get here?
Man, it's been quite an interesting year. But like, go back to some goals you set in January 1st. Like, are you close to them? Are you far off? Do you need to make some adjustments? Like, yeah, just guys, it's never too late to start. We just hit the reset button on so many different things. Like, there's just so much opportunity out there, and just have that confidence. And even if you do a little bit each day, like, look where you could be December 31st. Like,
look where you could, like, look how different our life was a year after, 2 years after, 4 years after. Like, things just keep evolving, and you don't have to know how you're going to get there. You just have to have the intent and the vision, right?
yeah.
And I think that that's such an important thing. Karen, you did a post the other day that really hit home, and it said, would I still be happy if I am where I am right now in 6 months? Would I still be happy a year from now if I am where I am right now? I ask you guys, ask yourself that question. And if the answer is no, I'm not happy where I am right now, and I don't want to be here in 6 months, and I don't want to be here in a year, start taking action. And it doesn't have to be what we've even talked about. It could be working towards another goal. And maybe it's a fitness goal. Maybe it's a health goal. Maybe it is a business goal, a brick and mortar business. Maybe you want to start a new business. Whatever it is, take action today. Maybe you want to start a new habit and start getting up earlier, right? The best time to do that is now. Learn the 5-second rule and know, hey, if I count backwards from 5, this is something I really don't want to do, but I know it's good for me. I know it's going to change my life. Getting up an hour earlier, I'm going to start setting my alarm, and I'm going to learn the 5-second rule, and I'm going to get out of bed and start new habits. And there's nobody in the world that can do that for you except you. There's nobody that can push you to do those things. People say, how do you stay so motivated? I know exactly where I'm going. I know who I want to become. And every day I have so many things on my plate that I can't even bear to get through, that I got to get up the next day and start over because my list isn't done yet. And there's no, you don't need that motivation because you know where you're going.
Well, and I also tell myself, do I want to go back to where I was 4 years ago? No.
Right.
Well, keep going.
That's right.
Unless you give up, like, just keep going.
There's no way to lose unless you quit. Like, that's the cool thing, is that you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to go backwards. You're going to go forwards. Like, there's going to be booms in your business, but there's also going to be times that are difficult. There'll be times where you're like, is the well dry? Like, what's happening here? But you have to be able to pivot and look for other solutions, but you also have to be okay with the day to day. And when things are slow, or when there's times in my business that I'm just like, okay, we're not doing a challenge, we're not doing this, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy 6 hours at the beach with my daughter. I'm going to take the time to take the dogs for a walk or go for a hike. I'm going to take the time to meditate and sit down and write out my goals. And that's what you were saying before, right? Having the time to do all these things now, instead of, oh my God, I'm spinning my wheels, I'm running on that hamster wheel time and time again, I'm not getting any farther ahead. No, find a solution, pivot, and find time to focus on what makes you happy, on your purpose, on your passions, right? Even if you're a mom, even if you're in a relationship, even if you're a co-business owner, find something that makes you happy, because that will change the game in your in your mental state, in your attitude, in your positivity, in your grit. You don't want to burn out, and having that time for you is what changes the game.
And there's just never been, there's so many resources that are free. You don't need to invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to work on personal development. Like, I just go on YouTube and there's just so much content out there. Just be resourceful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Karen, thank you so much for taking the time today. I don't know, we've been around a while, so we should probably let these lovely people go, but thank you so much for being here. I love having conversations with you. I obviously prefer them in the sunshine
Um,
together in
yeah,
person.
we're coming over next week to Vancouver. Just saying, because you can, right?
Because I can, right? Totally. So that's the thing, right? We have the opportunity to live the life that we want to live, to have the freedom that we want, to pick up and go wherever we want. And if that's the life that you desire, start taking daily steps towards it. Right?
Okay,
Okay,
have
doll face.
a Monday. Bye,
Love
guys.
you. We'll see you
Love you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.